All right, Witch Queen is coming out soon, and a whole bunch of things are changing. Orbs of Light will no longer be generated by masterworked weapons. We're getting Void 3.0. We don't know what kind of weapons we're getting. We know we're getting the glaive. So it's sort of a time where, in order to make a build for the next expansion, we kind of want to play it safe. And we want to focus on Void. With that in mind, I have a build for Hunter, Warlock, and Titan. I'm going to try and be really, really quick about it. So the exotic is the Stag, and the mods are Reaping Wellmaker, Protective Light, Seeking Wells, Supercharged, and Elemental Charge with Utility Kickstart. You can put anything you want in any other slot, but those are mandatory for the build. For Hunter, the exotic we're using is Omnioculus, and we are using Reaping Wellmaker, Protective Light, Seeking Wells, Supercharged, and Reaping Wellmaker. I'm making the assumption that invisibility and smoke bombs will all work the same, that Gambler's Dodge will work the same. If it doesn't, you can replace Omnioculus with the 6th Coyote. Finally, for Titan, I would use Icefall Mantle with Elemental Charge, Well of Tenacity, Protective Light, Charged Up, and Reaping Wellmaker with Perpetuation. Alright, before I demonstrate the build, I'm going to quickly explain what the mods are and why we're using them. So to begin, let's start with Reaping Wellmaker. Reaping Wellmaker, after activating your class ability, your next weapon final blow on a combatant spawns a Void Elemental Well. And that pairs with Elemental Charge by picking up an Elemental Well. If the Elemental Well's element type matches your subclass element, you gain 2 stacks of Charge with Light. And then with Supercharged, you can have 2 additional stacks of Charge with Light up to a maximum of 5. What that means is that when you pick up a Reaping Wellmaker or a Void Elemental Well made by Reaping Wellmaker on a Void class, you get ×2 Charge with Light. You do it again, you get ×4. You pair it with Utility Kickstarts so that you can use your class ability more often. And you do all of this so that you can have Protective Light. Protective Light. While charged with light, you gain significant damage resistance against combatants when your shields are destroyed. This effect consumes all stacks of charge with light. The more stacks consumed, the longer the damage resistance lasts. So, how much damage resistance? 50%. You get 50% from Protective Light, and that stacks with all of your other damage resistances. So in the case of sniper damage resistance, that is a single resistance mod on your chest is 25% damage resistance to that particular thing. So if I have one arc, if I have one arc, then that is 25% damage resistance to arc damage. If I have one melee, that is 25% damage resistance. If you stack up things, so like if you have 2 snipers, it'd be nice if it were 50, but it's not. It's only 40. And all of this stacks with Protective Light. So if I have 2 sniper damage resistance, when I'm at red bar health, I am only taking 10% of the damage that I normally would from incoming fire, which is why Protective Light is so good. And finally, we are using Seeking Wells because we are standing in a rift most of the time. And using Seeking Wells allows us to bring the Void Elemental Well to us. Now we're using the Stag because it has 3 elements to it. Well, one of them doesn't matter. When you have the Stag, any rift that you create as long as you are within that rift, you will get a 25% damage reduction. That, once again, stacks with these other damage resistances. And once you are brought to red health, so when you take critical damage, you regain a large portion of your rift energy, which allows you to perpetually cast rifts and stay charged with light for protective light. So I'm going to show you how it works real quick. So I activate Rift. I shoot a thing. You see, there's the elemental well. Comes to me, and now I'm charged with light. I got my Rift back. I can throw it down again. One of those. And wait for my Rift to come back. Throw down another Rift. Get another elemental well. Get charged with light times 4. And with charged with light times 4, protective light lasts, I think, 15 to 20 seconds. Let's find out. Kill me. Or try to kill me. Come on. So it lasts 15 seconds. And I got my well back, or my Rift back. Pretty easily. How viable is this for in-game content? Well, I'm playing kind of stupidly, despite this being a weak lost sector. I think it is very viable for in-game content. The only way in which it wouldn't be viable is if you're in a team and they need a Solar Warlock for Well of Radiance. In which case, this still kind of works, but you would only get one charged with light per Void Well. They also might make you put on Lunafactions, which makes the build just a teensy bit worse, but it doesn't really matter that much. In the end, this is a very flexible, very usable build in just about any in-game activity. So, yeah. All right, for the Hunter, the same... It's pretty much the exact same mods for the exact same reasons. And I'm using Omnioculus because it provides us quite a bit of damage resistance when we're invisible. So I'm going to dodge, kill a thing, invis myself, wait for my dodge to come back, dodge, kill the thing, invis myself, and I have charge with light times 4, times 4 resist from the smoke bomb, and Heart of the Pack. All in all, great freaking build. Very easy to use, kind of amazing. If for some reason they change smoke bombs, which is a possibility, you can use Sixth Coyote, which will give you a second dodge charge, which lets you build times 4 pretty easily. You could use Frosties, which would let you build up your dodge really easily just by sprinting. And once you sprint, or once you dodge, you sprint faster. And if you sprint faster, it's harder for things to hit you. So Frosties is a pretty good option. The Bombardiers is a great option because now when you dodge with Void, you suppress targets, which is really good. And let's see. Graviton Forfeit will work with a dodge that'll make you invisible. And then Wormhusk Crown, every time you dodge, you'll get health back. So basically, anything that gives you like invisibility or health or like Assassin's Cowl, great with this build. So you have a lot of options. I prefer Omnioculus. I kind of hope they don't change anything too much so that it still works. If it doesn't, the best neutral options are probably going to be either Six Coyote, Assassin's Cowl, or Frosties. Whichever you would prefer. So, yeah. And finally, the Titan. Okay, this one requires a little bit of explanation. So, the Icefall Mantle. The Icefall Mantle is kind of garbage. The Icefall Mantle turns your barrier into an overshield, an on-demand overshield, but at a couple of pretty steep costs. First, you can't sprint. Second, you can't double jump. And finally, you can't regen your class ability as long as the overshield is active. Sounds kind of garbage, right? Except they added something recently that makes it a little better, and that's the ability to turn off the overshield by activating your class ability. So you activate it, you get the overshield, you can activate it again to turn off the overshield. And here's the thing, turning off the overshield counts as a class ability activation for Reaping Wellmaker. What that means is that you can double up on Reaping Wellmaker. Now, there are a couple of things you can do. Hold on. Let me adjust this right quick. So this is at supercharged. Groovy. So I pair this with Well of Tenacity instead of Seeking Wells. And the reason why is that Well of Tenacity makes the overshield much more viable. And I will show you. So activate, shoot something, and you get Well of Tenacity, which gives you some resist with this thing. And then it's important to keep an eye on your overshield, because if it goes down from damage or just from time, it you won't be able to double dip. But let's say that's enough. So I deactivate, and I get another well, which brings me to ×4, which makes me very tanky. I don't really have to worry. And kill things normally. And then, wait until I take enough damage so that I am put into there. And then I activate again. And then that gives me a well. And I'm taking 50% less damage with this overshield active. And I just have to keep an eye on it to make sure I don't lose it right away. Take it off and then get charged with light again. And yeah, so it gives them a it gives Titans a very tanky build option. Now, is this viable in endgame? It's debatable. I'm personally going to try it, but if you don't want to, you can use any other exotic that you would want, and just use your barricade like normal. I was thinking about using Chitin's Ramparts, but the unfortunate thing is that it makes the barrier very weak, and it makes it so that it goes down very quickly. So, I would probably wear something like Helm of Saint 14 or what are these things? Not the Icefall Mantles. Or Ursa Furiosa or, whatever. Maybe even Dune Marchers. But basically it would be the same thing. Throw up the barricade, kill something, get charged with light, throw up another barricade, kill something, so on and so forth. And those are the builds I'm going into Witch Queen with. If you need Protective Light and Supercharged, then you will have to get those in from Ada 1. Ada 1 sells Charged with Light mods randomly, so I really can't help you there. If you need stuff like Elemental Charge, Well of Tenacity, Seeking Wells, Reaping Wellmaker, all that stuff, you can get all of that from seasonal vendors at the Helm, which is right here. And the seasonal vendor, you need two things. You need the right rank to buy the well mod, and you need mod components to buy them. So you get the rank from doing activities associated with that particular season. So like the Season of Splicer vendor sells, I'm pretty sure, hold on, they sell Reaping Wellmaker. It's the servitor. And in order to be able to buy them, you would have to do the seasonal thing for the Splicer, which would be Override. So you do that, you'll get Reputation. Once your Reputation rank is high enough, you can buy the well mods that you need. You buy them with mod components. You get mod components from doing quests from Banshee. There are weapon quests that'll be like submachine gun. You kill things with submachine gun and you get 2 mod components. There are 4 quests each day. You can do them on every character. So that's 12 in total, or 4 a day if you want. And it only costs 3 per mod. So within a day or two, you should have enough to get everything that you need. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to the Witch Queen with. Those are the builds I would recommend. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your time.